Before leaving Acts 5:32, two more points need to be made about the phrase, the Holy Spirit whom God has given. First, note the actual affirmation of 5:32 is not that God is giving his Spirit, but has given his Spirit. Has given is the standard translation of the aorist indicative form of the Greek verb didomai, which occurs in this sentence. While not strictly equal to the English past tense, the aorist tense in Greek focuses on completed singular actions. The imperfect tense would be the more likely tense used to express an ongoing action of the past. The tense heavily suggests that the given of 5:32 is looking back then to a singular introduction of the gift of the Holy Spirit in Acts 2:38. Therefore, this text is not making a statement about the ongoing reception of the Holy Spirit at the conversion of each person. It is not expressing an everlasting, universal promise for all Christians for all time. The grammar just does not support that view. Rather, this verse is looking back to the opening of whatever blessing was given to God's people on the day of Pentecost. As we have noted, that blessing was prophetic in its nature. Now, point two. This verse does not state that God has given his Spirit to each one at baptism. The Spirit has been given to those who obey him. While it is the contention of this series that the prophetic abilities of the Spirit were distributed as universal as possible, the language of Acts 5:32 does not demand this to be the case. Nehemiah 9, verses 20 and 30 state that God gave his Holy Spirit to the people in the wilderness. From our examination of the Holy Spirit's work of Nehemiah and of that time, we have initially seen that, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam were known as prophets in Israel. Bezalel and Aholiab were then also filled with the Spirit. Finally, 70 men were empowered by Moses with the Holy Spirit. That's only 75 individuals whom we can identify as having the Spirit. Yet God had, according to Nehemiah, given his Spirit to all of Israel. Additionally, in Acts 15, verses 7 and 8, Peter states that the Gentiles had been granted life and had been given the Holy Spirit. He makes that statement in reference to a time when only the household of Cornelius had received the Spirit. It is not necessary for every person to have a personal possession of the Holy Spirit for the Holy Spirit to have been given to a group. Acts 5:32 alone does not demand a universal distribution of the Spirit. Establishing that demand is necessitated in this verse by the non-prophetic indwelling view.